average even for this, our hottest time of year. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGain.com. Anytime you need us, go to the blog at CapitalWeatherGain.com for the latest forecast. You can go to CWG.news/latest for the latest forecast written by Greg Porter. And I've tried to highlight with the emoji up here, the Monday-Tuesday timeframe could be the hottest and steamiest of the week. Maybe we see a heat advisory issued by the National Weather Service. It's close, but not fully certain if we'll hit heat index values of 105 degrees, and that heat index apparent temperature is when you combine the air temperature on the thermometer with these high oppressive dew points that we have throughout the region. We might add several more 90-degree days onto our tally of 16 thus far this year. Here's the heat index map, the apparent temperature for tomorrow. Over 100 degrees it will feel like to our skin, which will have a hard time cooling itself because our sweat will not evaporate easily from the surface of our skin. So it's very effective to use this combination of temperature with these high humidity, high dew point values. So 102 is possible for tomorrow, and then much similar on Tuesday. So just I want to highlight, we need to be pretty careful on Monday and Tuesday. Please stay safe in the heat. Again, we're looking at maybe dew points above 75 degrees in some spots, so we're fully oppressive, fully sultry. July is being July. We're even above average for July. So if you want to complain like I will, not a problem, because this is even above average for our hottest time of the year. Dranja joins me in the crying emoji. Peter, hello. La Nina may return this winter, still too early to tell. Paul, hello from Manassas. Thanks for tuning in. And Annette, wow, yes, hot and steamy this week. Yes, indeed. Hello, David in Silver Spring. The best pool afternoons, Beth, I'm going to go Tuesday and Thursday. I think those are the 2 days this week which may have the least chance for a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and that's my criteria, those two criteria. Let's see. Liz is not loving the heat, but at least it's on the West Coast right now. Yes. Let's remind everyone we're not the only ones suffering from the heat. Go to CWG.news/WestHeatRecords, where we're covering all-time high temperatures that are tied, if not exceeding, all-time high temperatures there under a heat dome in the west, a very record-breaking heat wave in the western United States right now. So Liz, good for flagging that. Adranja, getting back from Cleveland, the heat and humidity just engulfs you right now. Yes, indeed. We've got just this very strong mid and upper level high pressure system, which in the reds, that indicates even for this time of year, this is above what we normally see. This is unusual in a warmer than average way in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. So it is going to dominate our weather this week. We're going to be enveloped by more of this oppressive humidity, with dew points cycling in from the lovely Gulf of Mexico. Southerly winds will help pump in more and more water vapor this week. Look at these dew point levels, 70, 75 degrees, not out of the question. And yes, we are going to be above average in Misha. Late day storms almost any day this week. Maybe we stay dry Tuesday, Thursday, but that's a long shot. Let's see, do behave, says Frank. Excellent dew point pun. And Jennifer, yes, it is so hot. And Bob, we might not get relief until Sunday or so. Stay tuned. The weekend is still a little bit uncertain with low confidence forecast and question marks. Yes, Drew, where I'm going to stay in this white hat as long as we remain in this summer warm weather season pattern. Remember to stay safe in the heat by wearing light colored clothing, breathable clothing. This can reflect some infrared off of you. It can make sure your sweat evaporates, even though it's going to have a hard time evaporating with dew points at or above 75 possible this week. So we are going to be needing to really carefully, mindfully drink that water, stay hydrated, find AC, look at all these tips. Just work early and late strenuously if you can, find shade when you can, a cooling center when you can. We may see heat index values 100, 105 this week, which could set off a heat advisory from the National Weather Service. Let's see. We've got Beth. Thank you for tuning in. Hot and humid there, Arlene. You hang in there. Stay hydrated. Laura, hurricane forecast look like for early August. That's when we start ramping up again normally in most seasons. Hoping to go to the Outer Banks, Lori. So let's cover some averages really quick. And I guess first and foremost, nothing's brewing over the next 5 days. Tropics are quiet. That is the good news. Next name on the list would be Fred. and we've got general expectation. I think I need to update this. Signs are indicating an above average hurricane season and then some. We could have some record challenges. We saw the earliest named storm ever on record. So I think there's only been 2 years with mosquitoes flying around. I love it. There's only been 2 years to really have this accelerated of a hurricane season with this many storms already. So we need to really keep an eye on things. And of course, averagely speaking, with climate change, early and earlier tropical storms are developing. And again, we could see more and more this year in the Atlantic hurricane basin. But luckily, nothing is brewing right now. So early August, if you're going to the Outer Banks, keep a wary eye. Don't cancel plans or change plans at this point. But of course, keep in mind, we can't often forecast a hurricane or tropical storm until it develops. And of course, then at CapitalWeatherGang.com, we will keep you posted, of course. I'm Camden Walker. Thank you for joining me. For the latest forecast, go to CWG.news/latest and look at the steamy above average even for July. This is typically your hottest time of year, but this is even hotter and steamier than average. So please keep that in mind and be mindful this week. Josh wants fall quickly. This is nasty. I kind of agree with that. Linda, chances of rain or thunderstorms for the DMV this week. Most any day through perhaps Saturday, we could see showers and storms, particularly in the afternoon hours. I would say Tuesday and Thursday maybe have signs of drier air trying to move in and kind of limiting our thunderstorms. So I saw earlier a good question about pool days. Try and do Tuesday and Thursday if you need to do some outdoor plans. At least, David, not record-breaking heat here, but indeed out west. We're worried about our neighbors out there. Go to CWG.news/WestHeatRecords to track that record-breaking heat wave in the western United States. Charlene, you'd also like to make sure the Outer Banks in early August are clear for tropical activity. We'll, of course, keep you posted at CapitalWeatherGang.com. The good news is at least the next couple weeks look kind of quiet. The next 5 days definitely have a high chance of being quiet. Nothing in the Atlantic hurricane basin, but it is an above average season. We have never really ever ticked through the first 5 storms like this. Elsa was the earliest named storm, the 5th storm, I think, on record. So we are tracking faster than average in development for tropical storms and hurricanes. Does not bode well for activity in the Atlantic basin in early August. So once we get there, closer to your plans in the Outer Banks in early August, come back to CapitalWeatherGang.com. Misting coolers as well would be great. Lisa, not liking this heat. Thomas says summer is the worst season. Bring on fall and winter. Yep, David, that's a good point. We are still well before the hurricane peak of the season, which is typically September 10th, September 11th. Joanna, too hot and humid. Gross, you're already thinking about fall. Indeed, we've got tons of water vapor in the air cycling through the region this week. Dew points here, 70 to 75 over the coming days. With a combination of a mid-upper level high pressure system. These are unusually warm and high pressure readings in the mid-upper level parts of the atmosphere. The red indicates even for July, this is above average. This is a very strong high pressure system, especially Monday and Tuesday of this week. So we will be sizzling and hot and humid. Heat index values, apparent temperature, how it feels to our skin, which will have a hard time evaporating sweat to cool itself this week. 100 to 105 is not out of the question. Monday and Tuesday, pretty similar maps here when you combine the air temperature with these high dew points, which are very muggy, if not fully oppressive. And yes, we could add to our heat tracker here. We have 16 days at or above 90 degrees in Washington, D.C. We could see several more this week. So please keep that in mind and stay safe in the heat. Latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. And here it is, even for July, very hot, very steamy. More than we typically even see in July, which, yes, this is our hottest time of year. So, but we can complain because this is above average for hot and the humidity as well, the heat and the humidity. Carla, Outer Banks, quiet right now. We're just looking at August and can't give you any confident forecast on tropical activity that far out. Lori, summer is your least favorite season in DC. Donna, done with the heat already. Drew does not mind the heat, but it does that permeating humidity indeed. You would love that dry heat out west perhaps, but just keep in mind even there, the heat wave this week is serious. Go to CWG.news/WestHeatRecords. to track the latest on the heat dome out west. It is very serious there as well. Lori would also like drier heat. David, bug and dog noise in the background. Yes, indeed. I am out here sweating and dealing with the bugs and the dogs just so you don't have to. But I want to demonstrate the need this week for lots of iced water, air conditioning, you name it. Dew points are, let's see, right now 73 degrees or so, right near that oppressive level where we would say about 75 degrees on our emoji scale. It would be muggy, sultry, gross, oppressive. So this is just the beginning. Our one-day break is over after yesterday was seemingly pleasant July. I had no complaints yesterday, but 74, 75 degree dew points. Expect more of the same, only slow easing into the weekend of these high dew points. So it is something to contend with this week. And remember that when you combine the heat and humidity this week, we will see, especially Monday and Tuesday, heat index values, apparent temperatures to our skin that can evaporate its sweat. It will feel like 100 to 105. So our bodies will really be unhappy this week. Went for an 8-mile run this morning, and boy, was it rough, Michael. So make sure to do that strenuous activity very early or very late in the day, please. These dew points are going to really be sultry, around 75 degrees, oppressive and unbearable. Our bodies can't help but have heat stress on them because the sweat, which is our natural cooling mechanism when it evaporates from our skin, that mechanism is going to be shut down for a great extent this week. So please keep that in mind with dew points. Look at that, like around 75 degrees right now. Ugh, terrible. All right. At least the corn likes the heat, says Julie. Seafood counts forecast for the West Coast seafood. No, Drew, that's terrible. Millions of shellfish did roast in that Northwest, Pacific Northwest heat wave last week, 2 weeks ago. Let's see, corn indeed. There is corn sweat, Thomas. It does add to the humidity in the Midwest and the Great Plains. Thomas is over summer already. Let's go to the forecast while I take more of these questions and comments. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGame.com for our forecast. Right now, go to CWG.news/latest, and you can see even for July, this is above average in the heat and the humidity categories. Dew points around 75 degrees are very oppressive. You will feel that high, unbearable humidity this week. It is rough, even for the hottest, steamiest time of year. This is even more of that than normal. All right, we've got the heat peaking, maybe K-Pops this week. I think this is going to go down as our hottest week of the summer of the year, which is not too atypical. This is indeed our average high temperature is now 90 degrees, average low temperature is at least 72, but you can see we're above that in the DC area in the Mid-Atlantic. So with a little bit of luck and a cold front coming through maybe Saturday or Sunday, we could see a break a little bit next week, at least briefly. All right, great question, K-Pops. Charlene, even dogs need water every half mile. Morning humidity is also brutal. I agree with you. Bobby, 24 hours ago, it felt much more present. None of these crazy oppressive dew points in the mid-70s. Just pretty terrible. And this is, we're going to have it's going to be like this most of the week, especially Monday and Tuesday. I just want to emphasize we have heat index values in the 100 to 105 category, and here's Tuesday, much of the same as tomorrow. We could see a heat advisory issued by the National Weather Service, so please keep that in mind to stay safe. With these dew points at or around 75 degrees, this is pretty unbearable, very much a heat stressor for our bodies. So please follow these tips and hydrate mindfully, and just wear light colored clothing like I am, breathable clothing, short sleeves when you can. Air conditioning is very important. Check on your neighbors who might not have as much access to air conditioning, and other vulnerable populations include children, homeless. Please, we're not in an excessive heat warning or anything, but this could go down as our hottest, most oppressive week of the year. So please take a little bit of caution for yourself and for your neighbors. Let's see, we've got Liz. You can't wait to go outside and not sweat and just sitting in the shade, maybe Sunday, Monday next week, but we've got a long week ahead to deal with this oppressive humidity and temperatures, which even for July, I just want to emphasize, this is above average for temperatures and the humidity levels, with dew points around 75 degrees, very oppressive mid-70s. Dingo, hello, thanks for tuning in. And we've got Drew. You want ice cubes in your backpacks and canteens. Oh, and for dogs, that's a great idea. Yep, we don't want to forget about our pet population. That is true. And let's see, we've got Lori. Ice cold lemonade stat would be great. Yes, please. And Liz, good old days when it's just cooler after a thunderstorm. Indeed, these are not necessarily cooling thunderstorms. They will only add to our surface moisture, the soil moisture, and create even like nighttime fog and extra mugginess and humidity. So we might need to wait for a stronger cold front to come through, maybe Saturday or Sunday this upcoming weekend. Stay tuned to CapitalWeatherGang.com. I'm Camden Walker. Thank you so much for tuning in for our weekly Sunday Sunset Chats. I enjoy seeing you every week. Thank you so much for these questions and comments. Alan, the rest of summer, well, it is going to be pretty warm and pretty, I would say at least average or so. Here's our heat counter, at least 16 days at or above 90 degrees. So I'm willing to give you a sneak peek at Saturday's temperatures. Still low confidence with some question marks when we look at this weekend, but it could still be hot on Saturday. This is starting to get into the extended forecast, so details still a little bit to be determined. But a cold front might come through and this weekend, and look at this. Slight chance, especially southern parts of our region, next work week. This is for next work week. In the blue, there's a slight probability of being below average, but keep in mind our average high temperatures are still right around 90 degrees in the mid-Atlantic. So I'm giving you what I can, giving you a little break of what I can. But this is the kind of the time frame, I would say, the signal for next week in the atmosphere is for a little bit below average. I don't see a massive heat or cooler than average signal going forward in the coming weeks, but stay tuned to CapitalWeatherGang.com. And of course, it's when we're forecasting beyond 6-7 days, there are many question marks and many times, oftentimes low confidence in the weather forecast. So details can't be hashed out, but generally speaking, the summer looks to behave like summer, somewhat within the normal parameters. So we can expect, as our average high temperatures kind of cool off later in August and early September, we might be able to enjoy a little bit more respite on a daily and weekly basis. But at least looking at next work week, there could be a slight chance of respite, especially for southern parts of our region. So I hope that helps. All right, I have 3 more minutes on the air with you. I'm Camden Walker. CapitalWeatherGang.com is our blog. Anytime you need us, 24/7, we are there. Watching these crazy oppressive dew points in the mid-70s this week, especially Monday and Tuesday. We could have heat index values around 105 if we are so unlucky. These dew points are going to be oppressive, and here's Tuesday's map, much the same as Monday. We just need to really be cautious because dew points could be around 75 degrees at times this week, including right now. That is why you're going to see me demonstrate how important ice water is, which I had right before I started talking to you, and it's wearing off. I'm going to start showing you how sweat does not evaporate in this type of air mass, and that becomes dangerous, especially in the middle of the day with sun beating down on you. So please be a little bit cautious this week and mindfully hydrate as well. Misha, days likely to have heat index over 105 is Monday and Tuesday, but I don't see much chance of being over 105. I want to not be hyperbolic, and I think 105 is about the warmest, hottest, and steamiest the apparent temperature will feel like to our bodies and to our skin on Monday and Tuesday. So if you can do your strenuous activities early or late, that is a good idea. The rain this year, David, we are about average. We're doing okay. Let's check that really quick. I've got for you our U.S. drought index updated this past week. We're doing okay in the D.C. area, but as you can see, kind of southwestern Virginia, parts of North Carolina, could use a little bit more rain. But we are doing much better on the East Coast than out west. And the outlook going forward is still pretty good, pretty optimistic for our hydrology, for our water resources here east of the Mississippi River. And even in the last this is looking forward over the next 7 days, the forecast is for a decent amount of rain. Unfortunately, look at that dry spot there in southwestern Virginia and in North Carolina. They remain the dry spots. So overall for the region, especially the overall East Coast, we are doing okay. We are near average, if not slightly above average for much of the region. So yes, we have the highest evapotranspiration rates this time of year because we are just so warm. The sun is so strong and high and in the sky for the longest parts of the day. The plants are all very active with photosynthesis. They are pulling up so much moisture from the soil. We, including me, have to water more days than not, if not 6 days a week about. So farmers and gardeners, keep watering when you are not seeing those hit or miss thunderstorms this week, a couple of which could be strong in the next couple of days, and we'll have to watch a couple fronts trying to move through our region in the next 6 to 7 days. So For the latest forecast, go to CWG.news/latest. I'm Camden Walker, about to sign off for CapitalWeatherGain.com. Alan, you're welcome for some good news. Dingo, thanks again for tuning in. Drew, I think we just had a quick spin up in the Rockville area last night, and tropical weather is calm for the next couple weeks, Alan, but we are going to ramp up toward the peak of the season for the tropical Atlantic in the September timeframe. September 10th, September 11th is typically the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, but next 5 days looking quiet. Even the next 2 weeks, I kind of took a sneak peek at the atmospheric signals in the tropical Atlantic. We're looking pretty good. Our next named storm, not anywhere on the horizon, would be Fred. So keep that in mind. We're quiet for now, try and enjoy it, but I expect as we get into August, things will ramp up in the Atlantic again for the tropical Atlantic. Lori, thanks so much for tuning in. And Charlene, see you next Sunday. Appreciate you tuning in always. Barb, hey, thanks for tuning in from YouTube. David, see you then. And yep, water for your animals. Lewis, that's a great reminder. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in from our 3 social media accounts. Anytime you need us, we're at YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And later and later, these sunsets are going. So earlier and earlier, these sunsets are going. So I'll see you a few minutes earlier next week, but I forgot to show you 8:34 p.m. was our sunset tonight. And these days are slowly getting shorter, but not in a meaningful way just yet. All right, take care and bye for now. Stay heat aware and heat safe over especially the next couple days.